Hello everyone. Today we are going to explore geometrical isomerism, which is very easy to understand. So let's begin. So before I begin the explanation for geometrical isomerism, let us recall the concept isomerism first. So isomerism, as you know, it is the phenomena in which more than one compounds having the same molecular formula but they differ in structural or their spatial arrangement. Based on that, they are classified into two types: structural isomerism, difference in the structure of the compounds, and stereoisomerism, based on the difference of structure in the three-dimensional space. So if we look at the stereoisomerism, it is again classified into two types, which is geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. So what is we are going to learn today? The geometrical isomerism. So after completing today's topic, you should be able to understand the geometrical isomerism. You would be able to draw the structure of alkenes, as we are going to apply the isomerism to the alkenes, and you can find out the number of geometrical isomers in polyenes. So let's first start. What is geometrical isomerism? As the name indicates, geometrical isomerism is the change in the geometry of the molecule. But how does the change in geometry arises? Due to change in the spatial arrangement of atoms in the three-dimensional space. But then the question comes, how do the spatial arrangement difference give rise to geometrical isomerism? For that, we have to know the conditions which should be there for the geometrical isomerism. So let us look at the condition first. There are two conditions. So first condition is there should be frozen rotation about the carbon-carbon double bond. That means the double bond, there should be restricted rotation. The second one is on each carbon atom along a double bond should be having the different substituent or different atoms attached to it, through where there is a restricted rotation. We will understand, we can see in the next slides to get more understanding of these conditions. So if these two conditions are fulfilled, the compound will show geometrical isomerism. So let's see with this ball and stick models here. You can see here like it's a compound. It's in hydrocarbon, or you can assume these black color the carbon and these are the other atoms are attached. Now as there is a single bond only present, you can see here it can easily rotate around its axis. So when it can rotate around its axis, here we can see the three different arrangement. All of this, they can interchange to each other. So we will not get any kind of different structures for the same molecule. As it keeps changing, it keeps rotating. So there is no fixed place for the any atom attached here. So that will not give rise to the geometrical isomerism. Now we'll look at the double bond here. Look at here, the carbon again is here. It is double bonded to the carbon, and it is attached to two different atoms. Now due to the double bond, the rotation is restricted. It cannot rotate on its axis. It can only, you can see that it's only the vibrate the green and white color balls, which are signifying the atoms which are arranged. So there are only two possibilities for the atoms attached to this black color or the central atom here. Either both green you can see on the same side or on the opposite sides. And these positions are fixed. They cannot interchange. So that will give the two different compounds, or in terms of the spatial arrangement, means three-dimensional arrangement, because they cannot easily, these bonds cannot easily flip between the two, because it requires a lot of energy which is not feasible. So we will get these two compounds in the nature. So let us look here. Now we have two arrangements here. One arrangement is when each carbon is double bond, they have the different atoms here. So this compound, it is satisfying both the conditions for a compound to show geometrical isomerism. Now we have two compounds here where the same atoms are present on the same side, or the same atoms are present or along the opposite sides. But what do we name them? Because these are known as the isomers, two isomers. So these are the names. The atoms which are present on the same side, they are known as cis isomers along the double bond. The atoms or group of atoms which are attached opposite to each other along the double bond, that are known as trans. So we will say this is the cis isomer and this one is the trans isomer. Now let us look at the example to an alkene. Now we have but2ene. Now this is but2ene, you can see here. Now what we have to do? We have to choose the axis to draw the double bond one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the butene. And the double bond is present along between the 2 and the 3 carbons. So it is but2ene. Now when we see here, we can look at here. Both the carbons has one methyl group and one hydrogen. So now we have to think, is the cis but2ene following the two conditions? It has double bond, so there is restricted rotation, and on each carbon C2 and C3, the two atoms or group of atoms are different. So here it is, one is methyl, one is hydrogen on this carbon. Here also one is methyl and one is hydrogen on this carbon. Okay, so this will form the isomer. It will show the geometrical isomerism. Now how do we name them? We have to see the same groups are present on the same side, like here methyl on the one same side, that is cis but2ene. The other one is on the opposite sides here, methyl, that is trans but2ene. So yes, if you are thinking this compound will show isomerism, yes, and again the same groups on the same side will be cis isomer, and the same groups on the opposite sides will be trans isomer. Okay, now we understood the geometrical isomerism, different alkenes, what are the name of the isomers. Now how does it affect on the physical properties for the alkenes? So let us look at the effect it produces on the properties. So first is dipole moment. Now if you think about the cis isomer and the trans isomer, let us go back. If you look at here, cis and trans isomer, we can see here which the electronegativity is more on the chlorine side. So cis isomer will show definitely dipole moment, as the dipole moment on each side is not cancelled by each other. So there will be net dipole moment. Trans, if the same groups attach on opposite side, so it will show net zero dipole moment. So whether if it is same group, it will show 0. If the groups are a little bit different in the number of carbon, it will show significant, but always lesser than the cis isomer. Now next is the boiling point. Now cis isomer will always show a higher boiling point because it is more polar due to the dipole moment. There is polarity. When there is polarity, there is more of intermolecular forces. So it will show the higher boiling point than the trans isomer. And then comes the stability. Now trans isomer is more stable. Now why is it stable? Let us look at this example. This is example you can see here. This is a cis isomer where the same groups are present on the same size. Now let us look here. If this is suppose we think it as a methyl and methyl, due to the crowded number of atoms on the one side, there will be a steric hindrance, due to which the energy will rise, which makes this compound more unstable compared to the trans isomer, where these two groups which are, if there is no steric hindrance, they are easily present on the opposite sides, making the compounds more balanced and stable. It's more symmetrical. So more symmetrical means the less energy. So therefore it's a trans isomer is more stable. Now the third objective for what we have to understand, when there are more than one double bond in a compound, then how do we find out how many isomers will it be shown by that compound? So there are conditions. Now first condition is that if an alkene has two different ends. Now we can see here alkene, it has one side is a chlorine and other side is a phenyl group. Now look at here, how many double bond is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 double bonds, and if that alkene has two different ends, the formula we are going to apply is 2 raised to the power n. So if we are going to apply 2 raised to the power 4, we are going to get 16. That means this compound will show 16 isomers. Now second case is when the both ends of the alkene will have the same atoms. Now here we have chlorine, here we have chlorine. But there are again two conditions. If the double bond present is in even number or odd number. So let us look at the first example where both the atoms are same and double bonds are 1, 2, 3, 4. So here it is even number of bond. So we are going to apply formula here, 2n minus 1 plus 2n by half minus 1. So where n is the number of double bonds. So if you apply this into the formula, you are getting 10. So that means that will show the 10 isomers. Similarly, if it has the, you see here it has the same ends, but the number of double bonds are 3. So it's an odd number of double bonds. So we are going to apply the formula 2n minus 1 plus 2 raised to the power n plus half minus 1. Where n is again the number of double bonds. So if I apply here, we are getting the number of isomers are 6. So you can easily find out the number of isomers based on the structure and the number of double bond present in a molecule. So you can look at the ends. If the ends present on the polyene structure is same, or if it's different, and if it's different, then whether it has the even number or odd number of double bonds. I hope you understood this explanation. If you find it difficult or if you find it anywhere confusing, you can pause and replay the video again. And again, if you have any doubts, you can post your doubts in the comment section. Now, for further, to apply the knowledge what you have learned, you can go to the quizzes which I have created in the website. There's a quizzes.com. When you will go to the quizzes.com, you will enter this game code 0597383 and you will find the question based on the geometrical isomerism. That will show you understanding how much you have understood. I hope you like this and you understood, and thank you.